Howdy y'all. Welcome back to the channel. Cheers. I'm Guardian of Ultima, and here on the channel we discuss matters pertaining to Ultima Online, administrator abuse, and in my last video I just did a video about Outlands wildlands expansion. Is it safe or is it a scam, right? We talked about themes like about favoritism and protecting players who donate, who feel entitled to winning the game just because they donated, even though they've advertised this as a Felucca rule set, and Felucca is a skill-based economy where the most skilled players are supposed to have all the loot, right? Like all the loot, like boatloads of loot, shelf loads of loot, like all the loot, basically, because that's what the game's all about, is the loot, right? And so more or less. And so let's take a look here. I was alerted. I wasn't planning on making this video, so it's just ad lib, right? Somebody sent me a link to our Ultima Online subreddit, which I reviewed in another video, Safer Scam. In my opinion, the whole subreddit is a scam because certain people are allowed to kind of bot as much as they want and up talk themselves as much as they want, but not really give you a straight answer ever. That's the kind of theme here. I got some screenshots really early on. This is something that's ongoing right now, just kind of started within a few hours ago. Somebody posted this to me, and so I got the screenshot. Here's the original post. Stealing can get you banned on Outlands is the name of the post, right? This is a warning to all new players or players that just aren't aware, right? Stay informed, stay safe. That's what we talk about here on Guardian of Ultima all the time. The success of the expansion on Outlands has resulted in Owen, the admin, becoming seemingly unhinged. Now, are we talking about real success or are we talking about bots? Because, these guys love the automation stuff. It says he just banned one of the server's most successful thieves for 2 weeks. Okay, so success, right? We know the success ceiling is really low for how successful you're allowed to be on Outlands. It sounds like one of those situations already to me where somebody interfered with Owen being in the limelight a little bit too much, right? And so let's read on, and it just says, just banned one of the server's most successful thieves for 2 weeks, even though he stole something without breaking any rules. So he just stole something in the game, no rules broken. That's the way it works, right? He publicly discusses how he hates this person, and it seems like he banned him because of his personal feelings. Are we talking about like a thieves guild or something here? On top of this, Owen has banned many people from their Discord for discussing the matter. Not to mention, he nearly deleted the PvP channel and put the ship's PvP channel on a permanent 15-minute slowdown after calling everyone stupid fucks. Obviously, he deleted that, like he does all of his meltdowns, and stated that he hopes it kills the community. So I don't know what he's talking about there, but feel free to join the Guardian of Ultima community Discord. The link is in the description, and send me screenshots of what's going on here. Always record every interaction with administrators on Ultima Online. Abroad. So let's take a look here. Okay, so he says, I expect his followers will storm in, to this subreddit on this thread and make excuses for his behavior, right? And they will put down the banned player, which is fine, but just be aware, if you're playing Outlands, you can be banned if you are not liked, right? They take favoritism to the level of they will ban you, they will like make your guild mates outcast you, even if you're the guild leader, right? Or else everyone gets banned. And that's, we talked about that in my last video. You can be banned if you're not liked. And the more successful the server becomes, or maybe the more successful you become, the more this will continue, or the more likely it is that it'll happen to you, right? It says, my recommendation is to stay in your lane, don't speak out about things you don't like, and avoid player versus player interactions that can result in feelings being hurt, right? This sounds like a donator's feelings got hurt, and they probably donate quite a bit. With the amount of people they have playing right now, they can really just ban whoever for whatever reason and continue on. You know, that's kind of how automation works, right? It's like the posts just keep happening, like on the subreddit. Like there's a Saturday screenshots post, and there's a mundane Monday post, and every day can have a post that's automated. I'm pretty sure there's more than one automated post every day on the subreddit. And you know, you really, as a newcomer, you might feel like you're talking to real people here, but let's take a look. Now we're gonna see some reaction from admin, Luthieus. But before we do, let's take a look at this one. This is by Thucker, and let's just see what it says here. Okay. By Thucker, 37 minutes ago. It's already edited. I don't know what he edited because he never added anything in here of any substance. It's just so vague. There's nothing in here. It says actual sequence of events. Oh, that's how it starts. And it says person enjoys theft in the meta, not stealing from a character in the game as a character in the game, but stalking a person's meta play patterns to steal significant assets from them at junctions of mechanical weaknesses that are difficult, if not impossible, to code out of the game. Like, so what? So it's not actual stealing, he's saying, but okay, like how is it not? He's not saying that part. Staff repeatedly asked person to stop attempting to completely ruin the whole ass experience of the game. This is very subjective. For other people, just for a person's own amusement. Okay, that's why they're doing it. This is a mind reader that is posting here. Thucker, the the oracle that knows everything or something. Person insists that it's all within the confines of the game. You know, you're allowed to steal. It's a skill in the game. And it's thus permissible, entirely ignoring the intent of the request, or just ignoring the fact that the staff are requesting that you stop doing it over and over, like stealing stuff from people, right? This step is repeated multiple times. Person gets a 2-week ban because clearly spelling the issue out and the problems the staff have with the person's behavior was not sufficient to alter person's behavior. Much like your post, a lot of the discussion on Discord has hinged around mischaracterized issues of the most recent singular theft and conflating using the stealing skill with getting banned if Owen doesn't like you, and ignores all of the relevant context around how this particular person was using the skill. So definitely was using the stealing skill in a manner not in keeping with the goal of the game being a game. It's pretty subjective sounding. And ignored repeated warnings to stop. So really all this person did is they didn't let the admins discriminate against them because they're doing something that everyone's allowed to do. There's no rules against it, so it's discrimination, right? And I applaud them for not letting themselves be discriminated against and continuing on. It sounds like this is going on for a long time, which is too bad. It says those incapable of productively discussing the issue beyond insisting their fantasy version of events, like that he stole an item with stealing skill, which you just admitted did happen, represents a psychotic break in the admin are too warned, then prevented from further diatribe when they can't help themselves. What? Advanced Aspect 7601. Thanks for the breakdown. Getting banned for stealing sounded a little too vague to believe. Well, that doesn't make any sense because this whole thing is just vague. And he even proved himself wrong. Like, he explained that he's not telling the truth here. Like, Senator 848 can you elaborate more for those of us who don't know and can't catch up due to all the removed posts? So there's like a firestorm of posts being removed right now, right? That could be why I got alerted to this so early on, you know. But feel free to send me screenshots in the Discord, like I say. Now let's take a look at what the administrators here on Outlands are saying about their actions. Here's Luthieus. All right. Okay. It says the player in question and a number of members of their guild have repeatedly pushed the limits on what would be considered acceptable gameplay for just about any server. So is Luthieus actually telling us what's going on here? Like, is he going to give us a good description of what's happening, or is he just coming in here with corporate pseudo speak? Let's take a look. Anytime there's some new abuse of the rules that technically is mechanically allowed, but any reasonable person would say, I don't think people should or are supposed to be able to do that, there's a pretty good chance this player's guild and the player in question are at the forefront of doing it. Okay? So it's something that is obvious that people shouldn't be able to do. Right, okay. So it shouldn't take too long to fix that, right? Here's what he says. I myself have warned this player and multiple players in their guild repeatedly over the last 2 to 3 years to dial back any sort of activity. Any sort of activity that would likely result in another player quitting over the losses sustained from their activity. And they have consistently not made any attempts to curb their actions. Things that result in other players losing their houses, losing their storage shelves, stockpiles, losing their ships, and so on. So major losses, right? But like, you know, shouldn't the experience on Outland be good? Not just being trapped there by your items because of, you know, the trammel systems of, you know, you building this chain that just takes forever. You have to experience like the grind that you have to do. Like, this is why people won't quit Outlands, even though the admins are just abusing them and probably selling their personal information, like, to whoever, to the highest bidder. They have no ethics, apparently. You know, Luthieus isn't here to explain anything. He's just here to say, you know, a donator might quit if they had all their items get stolen. Well, protect your donators with good code or something. Like, I don't know. Their whole house is getting stolen. How does that happen, right? Like, it's pretty hard to lose your whole, to get a thief to steal your house. How'd that happen? I'm really confused as to what's going on because the administrator's here not saying what the hell happened, right? He's saying other stuff. So, things and such, right? Like vague, and it doesn't make any sense. It's 2024. Players at this point in their life aren't going to bother sticking around if they lose 90% of their wealth on the server in a 5-second period. Well, I mean, not Outlands at least. And I've repeatedly over the last several years have had to try to come up with gameplay mechanics to try to specifically address the insane lengths this player and guild have gone to try to do shit to other players that will likely cause them to quit the game, right? So he's just being vulgar, right? There's literally tens of thousands of other players on the server, with hundreds of people stealing, PKing, tens of thousands, and doing all manner of stuff. But it's specifically this player and their guild that have gone to lengths to repeatedly do shit that push the limits of what we're willing to tolerate in order to keep the server healthy. Doesn't sound very healthy. And, you know, I don't really believe anything this guy says. I'm very skeptical of everything he said because he's not really saying, you know, why, what happened, or what's going on here, right? He's not making a lot of sense in here, so why wouldn't anybody be skeptical of everything he's saying? Tens of thousands of players, like if you saw my last video, he's probably just saying that because he saw my last video and now they know that they look bad because, you know, one guild was so big that it completely dwarfs anything a fraction. Like, the best days on Outlands have really realistically been a fraction of the size of this one guild. that just wouldn't come because the shelf is so low for how much skill you're allowed to have, right? If you're just trying to get rich, and you know, maybe they want to play the lotto, right? No one's so proud of this lotto, right? But maybe this is just a symptom of that. When you have a lotto or things that people can be addicted to, do you even have any kind of things that say, know your limit and play within it, or anything like that? Like with your lottos and stuff like that, your housing lottos and everything like that, and the gold lottos that they have all the time to try and sink some of the duped gold from all the bugs that happen on here, because they just don't want to code it properly. They just want to tell people how to play and enforce that with vindictive actions in the Discord and in public, so that people, if they try and stand up for you against this tyranny, they're just going to get vindictive behavior from the admins as well, and discrimination from Luthieus for 2 to 3 years as well. Well, he says that it's just nearly impossible to code it, or people should obviously not be able to do it, but for 2 to 3 years they can't figure out a solution. But I'm not buying it. It just sounds like BS to me. Especially the tens of thousands of whatever part. These guys are kings of automation and basically nothing else. It says, they've repeatedly been warned to dial back their actions and have not learned their lesson whatsoever. Hence the recent banning, right? So they're ramping up the abuse of this one guild for, being thieves. It's Thieves Guild, it sounds like. Anyways, so that's how things are going on Outlands. It's really not going to stop until people stop supporting Outlands and start playing something else. I wanted to show you something. I wrote a book recently. I just published it on LeanPub. If you've ever been to LeanPub, it's free on LeanPub if you have a LeanPub account, but if you go in the community Discord, I posted a PDF version right in the off-topic section, so you can just download it there for free. Or if you have a LeanPub membership, it's free on LeanPub. But it's called 10. I'll link it in the description. It's called 10 ways that corporations are fostering the us versus them mentality. And so in the prologue, it starts off with other ways that the world fosters this divisiveness, right? And then there's 10 chapters, one for each way that corporations are fostering this us versus them mentality. And then there's an epilogue which kind of talks about how we can all take personal responsibility to hold governments and stuff like that accountable to being ethical and maintaining moral authority and stuff like that. So it's quite a good read, I think. It's short and sweet, so it's just a compilation of my thoughts on that, and help from ChatGPT 4.0 with the articulating everything. So it's short and concise. I think it's a good read. Check that out if you're into stuff like that. Also, I have been working on a shard. It's using the Ultima Online pre-alpha client, and basically this shard hinges on the idea that the pre-alpha client has some assets. At least some of the assets from the pre-alpha client were meant for a version of Ultima Underworld, which was top-down. Kind of looks exactly like this. Top-down version of Ultima Underworld 3 was the original version of Ultima Online. Kind of came from that, because it has this kind of has this logo. It has Knights of the Crux Ansata, and their logo is the icon for the game, right? So it seems like they might have made or they might have attempted to make a demo for this Ultima Underworld, and then it got turned into the pre-alpha client to save money later on when it got canceled by EA. So definitely check that out. But I wanted to show you something. If you played mmorpg at all, or IPY2, then you might remember these brazier events. If you would double click one of these braziers, it would alert these spawned down there. Sorry, I'm sure that's super loud. Some skeletons spawned down there. Just give me 1 sec here. I'll turn the volume down. And we're just going to hang out up here until the skeletons disappear. It'll take a couple minutes. It's kind of like a champ spawn. A bunch of tiers of mobs are gonna spawn now. So some skeletons. Then there's some more skeletons. And then I think I just kept it at that. And then I made the champ spawn. The champ is a necromancer. And if you've ever played Ultima Underworld, there was a group called the Exiles. So, basically this Sir Cabaris came into the Underworld, the Stygian Abyss, to build a colony that was dedicated to all 8 virtues, right? And there were some people that just couldn't cut it, right? They just couldn't stay virtuous, no matter what they did. And so, they went into the depths of the Underworld, and they're kind of got pale skin, right? That's why I think these pale humans, there's a pale human graphic, which is just looks like tribal paint if you've played Ultima Online, like as if he's wearing tribal paint. Pale humans it's called, and so I think that is the Exiles, is what they're talking about. And so the Necromancer is one of those guys. He basically went really too far into the darkness, right? And it's pretty cool. I think it's going to take another couple minutes before that spawns. But this is the Underworld map. I'm going to have this ready for Saturday. This Saturday, so that'll be June, I think, 23rd or something like that. Is it Wednesday right now? So, Friday. Yeah, 23rd, I think. So definitely check that out. That's just in a few days from now. And it's just level 1 of the Stygian Abyss. So I basically have been remaking the entire map. It's going to be pretty cool. So I'm just going to be coding for the next few days. We still got these skeletons. So that'll take a minute still. I think I gave players like 2.5 minutes to kill these things. And then there's another 2.5 minutes to kill the next round. And then the Necromancer spawns. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek right now. There go those skeletons. Oh. Oh, geez. Oh, that client crashed for sure. Well, that's the way it'll go sometimes. Hold on. All right. Okay. Oh, maybe that had something to do with my black potion wearing off. I think I'm out of black potions. So I just spawned this orc. And I've got orcs just dropping a bunch of different loot that it's all scripted items. And so when they... it's just a quick way for me to get certain items, like a bunch of items and stuff that I've scripted. There's no dupe command, so I still have to make a dupe command and do some stuff on that end. But really just been trying to get this together. I made the map, and that was really fun. And so, let's take a look here. There's going to be some other skeletons down here. One thing I've been working on is setting up hotkeys for everything. So early access will have some hotkeys for things that I'm not using right now, but it'll be really easy to see the layout for where everything is, and you'll be able to change things around however you like. I'll have some tutorial videos for how it works. And eventually these things will despawn and the Necromancer will spawn. I wanted to show you that. Actually, right now, there's a problem in the code where if you're hiding and you come out of hiding, monsters which were attacking you before just won't, they won't see you anymore, even after you come out of hiding. So I got to fix that little problem in the AI. And, yeah. So this should be fun. It's kind of interesting. I think some of the assets that they were using for this Ultima Underworld 3. Supposedly was going to come out in 1995. Oh, here we go. Oh, Lord Colville, the flames of hell. Oh, I didn't have the sound on there. Okay. So these flames will kill me. They won't hurt the necromancer. It's just beefed out with some dex right now. He just comes and punches me around a bit. And he teleports back to where his spawn point is. I have to add flames like all up in this area still. To kind of keep things interesting. But then he goes back and then he summons some skeletons. And they currently are taking damage from the flame. So I have to fix that. That's just gonna take me. And then yeah, so I've just been working on this champ boss, so that's gonna be pretty fun. I made this animated translucent water for swimming in. My character doesn't have any swimming though. So I have to get some swimming skill, and yeah, so I'm just messing around right now. Hope to see you on Saturday if you want to check that out. The link's in the description. So definitely come and take a peek at that. Check it out. All right. Cheers. Thanks for watching the video. And yeah, I'm sorry about how things are working out on Outlands. For all the skilled players out there, I really feel for you. So I hope you can find a home where you're respected and whatnot. All right. Cheers, y'all.